Here we begin. Today is 8th of July 2021, Thursday, first day of the chapter Organic Chemistry, some basic principles and techniques. Okay, it is chapter 12 of your class 11 chemistry syllabus. Now, organic chemistry, which you have learned briefly, the introduction part in class 10 itself, it is the branch of chemistry that deals with the study of hydrocarbons and their derivatives. Then after that, the shapes of carbon compounds. If you look at the shapes of carbon compounds, if you go and into depth and try to figure out the shapes of carbon compounds, we will see that they have a variety of shapes. The shapes can be, planar or tetrahedral or tetragonal, bipyramidal and so on. Now, inorganic or carbonic compounds, S and P orbitals are involved in hybridization. Now, this hybridization means mixing of atomic orbitals. It means mixing of atomic orbitals. Okay, when atomic orbitals they mix with each other, then they result in the formation of hybrid orbitals. So, in organic chemistry, this mixing of atomic orbitals, the different atomic orbitals are S, P, D, F. So, when these atomic orbitals mix with each other, then it is called hybridization. So, this leads to three types of hybridization in organic chemistry. sp3 is first one in alkanes, okay, tetrahedral in shape, sp2 in alkenes, planar structure, sp in alkynes, linear molecules. So, these are the three generally observed shapes in hydrocarbons. After that, before proceeding to the functional group, I was talking about orbitals. Let me first make this idea about orbitals clear to you. Okay. Now, carbon. Try to understand very properly, nicely. Listen very carefully. Carbon, atomic number is 6. And in class 10, you have learnt that the atomic number of carbon, which is 6, if you write down the electronic configuration, you write like this, 2 and 4. Isn't it? Yes or no, boys? Do you write 2 and 4? Yes? Who is this boy? I am sharing the screen. Screen is not there at all. Okay. Now can you see the screen? Can you see the screen? Okay. So, organic chemistry, some basic principles and techniques, chapter 12. We are doing this part. Okay. Now I come to the next slide. Organic chemistry. It is the branch of chemistry that deals with the study of hydrocarbons and the derivatives. Regarding the shapes of carbon compounds, organic compounds, there are orbitals, mixing of S and P orbitals. S and P orbitals, they mix with each other. And this mixing of orbitals is called hybridization. Okay. So, mixing of orbitals is called hybridization, which leads to three types of hybridization in organic chemistry in these hydrocarbons. The first one is sp3, which you will find in alkanes. Alkanes contain all carbon-carbon single bond. And the second one is sp2. In case of alkenes, they will have planar shape, planar structure. Whereas the third one is sp, that is in alkynes, having at least one carbon-carbon triple bond. The shape of the molecule is, it is linear. Okay. Now, let me explain the atomic orbitals first. Now, when you boys were in class 10, you have learned about the atomic number of carbon, and you have also learned how to write the electronic configuration of carbon by following the magic number. The atomic number of carbon is 6, so its electronic configurations 2 and 4. Now, according to Aufbau principle from the chapter atomic structure, if you go ahead to write the electronic configuration of carbon, the electronic configuration of carbon, if you write down the electronic configuration, it is like this. Have a look. We write it this way: 1 S2, 2s2, 2px1, 2pz1 and the 2py1, sorry, and 2pz0. There is no electron over here. This is the electronic configuration of carbon in the ground state. This is an orbital, s orbital, s orbital, p orbital, p orbital, p orbital. This 2 over here is electrons. S orbital, one s orbital has 2 electrons, 2s orbital has another 2 electrons, 2px orbital has 1 electron, 2py orbital has 1 electron, and 2pz orbital has no electrons. So, if we add these electrons, 2, 4, 5, 6, there are 6 electrons. There are 6 electrons altogether in the shells of carbon atom. Now, this electronic configuration is the electronic configuration of carbon in the ground state. Now, say if I excite one of the electrons from the 2s orbital, if I draw these orbitals, it will look like this. 1s atomic orbital for carbon, okay. It has 2 electrons. Then there is 2s. Then there is 2s atomic orbital which also has 2 electrons. After that, there are p orbitals, 2p. There are 3 of them. This one is 2px, this one is 2py, this one is 2pz. So, the 2px orbital has 1 electron, 2py orbital has another 1 electron, and this one is empty. Now, if I transfer one of the 2s orbitals to the p orbital, so this is what happens. This electron, the second electron, can be transferred over here with the opposite spin and put over here. So, when this transfer happens, carbon atom is said to be in the first excited state. It is said to be in the first excited state. After this only any combination with other elements, atoms is possible. So, once the electron is transferred, once the 2s orbital electron is transferred to the 2pz orbital, then we have the electronic configuration like this. 1s orbital having 2 electrons, 2s orbital now will have only 1 electron, and now we have 2pz, 2px, 2py and 2pz, 2px, 2py and 2pz orbitals having 1 electron each. So, we can see the 2s orbital, the 2px orbital, the 2py orbital and 2pz orbital, they have got 1 electron each. So, this electronic configuration is called the first excited state electronic configuration of carbon atom. Now if I bring 4 hydrogen atoms, around this carbon atom, the hydrogen atom using its electron will accommodate over here, one over here, another one over here, another one over here and one more over here. So, there is mixing of S, here there is mixing of sp3, okay, sp3, 1s and p is how many? 3 of them. So, the hybridization is called sp3 hybridization. So, the molecule which is formed is methane molecule, CH4. So, this concept of Aufbau principle, this concept of writing the electronic configuration by using the atomic orbitals S, P, D and F, I shall do when I do the chapter atomic structure after completing this chapter, okay, in detail. Okay, so for the moment this much of concept is very clear. Okay, now let me go to the next slide first. Okay, let me go to the next slide. So now have a look. That was hybridization. Now look at alkanes. Alkanes, I believe you remember the general formula of alkanes is CnH2n plus 2, and alkanes means they are called paraffins. All carbon-carbon, they have single bond. Carbon-carbon, single bonds. Alkanes have carbon-carbon, single bond. So, if I take, let's take an example over here. 2 carbon atoms, C2H6. This hydrocarbon is called, it is called ethane. Now, in ethane, if you see, if you draw the structural formula, then we have like this. This is the structural, this is, just a second, just a second over here. If I draw the structural formula of ethane, it becomes like this: one carbon, another carbon, then there are 3 hydrogens over here, another 3 hydrogens in the first carbon. Okay. Now, this is a sigma bond, this is a sigma bond, sigma bond, sigma bond, sigma bond, sigma bond, and sigma bond. So, all single bonds. Okay. So, carbon, as I have already told you, 1 electron in the 2s, the remaining 3 electrons in the 2px, 2py, and 2pz. They overlap. This one, 2, 3, 4. And over here, this one, this electron overlaps with the electron of the other carbon atom, head-on overlap. This sigma bonds are formed by the head-on overlap. If I talk about orbitals, if the orbitals are colliding this way, overlapping this way, this is called head-on overlap. And whenever there is head-on overlap, then sigma bonds are formed. So, here in this case of ethane, the hybridization is, it is what? This carbon atom is sp3 hybridization. See, because around each carbon there are 4 bonds. 1 over here, 2, 3, 4. Just count the number of bonds. Just count the number of bonds around the carbon. 1, 2, 3, 4, and put it over here in sp. 1 goes for sp and the remaining 3 goes for p. So, it becomes sp3. So, this was the example of alkane, showing and explaining you the hybridization of the carbon atom. Next, I would like to show you is the what you call this hybridization of alkene. Okay, have a look now. Alkene. Alkenes, I believe you remember the general formula of alkenes is CnH2n, and alkenes have at least one carbon-carbon double bond. Alkenes have at least one carbon-carbon double bond. So, here again, if you see, if I take an example, if I take 2 carbon atoms, C2, it becomes H4. So, there are 2 carbon atoms, 4 hydrogen atoms. So, I will draw it, carbon, another carbon, there has to be a double bond like this, and then I will place 2 hydrogens like this over here, another 2 hydrogens over here. So, now, between the 2 carbon atoms, one is a sigma bond, another one is a pi bond. Okay, and I have told you the sigma bonds are formed by the head-on overlap and the pi bonds are formed by the sideways overlap. If the orbitals are like this, overlapping this way, this is called sideways. Sideways. Okay. And the vertical orbitals are overlapping head-on. This will result in the formation of sigma bond. This will result in the formation of pi bond. So, the pi bonds are not taken into consideration while estimating the hybridization of the central carbon atom. So, we count in this case only the sigma bond. Around this carbon atom, there is 1 sigma, 2 sigma, and 3 sigma bonds. There are 3 sigma bonds. So, just distribute these 3 bonds in sp. So, 1 will go to S and remaining 2 will go to P. So, this hybridization is called sp2 hybridization. In the case of alkene, the alkene over here into consideration is ethene. It is called ethene. Okay. So, I hope this is clear to all of you. I hope, boys, this is clear to all of you. Okay. Now please keep in mind that from the structural formula to get the hybridization, always take into consideration only the sigma bonds. Only the sigma bonds. Don't take into consideration the pi bonds. Pi bonds are not taken into consideration during the calculation or finding out the hybridization of a given atom. Okay. The next one, the next type of hybridization which I will explain you is in the case of alkynes. In the case of alkynes, ALKYNES. Alkynes, if you remember the formula, general formula of alkynes, it is CnH2n minus 2, and alkynes have a carbon-carbon triple bond. Alkynes have what? Carbon-carbon triple bond. Okay. Now, since the alkynes have carbon-carbon triple bond, I will take an example of an alkyne. I will put 2 carbon atoms, C2 H. 2 to the 4 minus 2 is 2. So I will get ethine. I will get ethine. Now I will draw the structural formula of ethine. There are two carbon atoms over here. One carbon over here, another carbon over here, and there should be a triple bond because it is an alkyne. So 1, 2, 3, and then there are two hydrogens placed on each of the carbon atoms on either side. So this is how you place the hydrogen atoms. Now this carbon is linked to, first carbon is linked to the hydrogen by a sigma bond. The next hydrogen is linked to this carbon, the second hydrogen, by another sigma bond, and there is one sigma bond in the center over here. Up and down there are two pi bonds. So during the estimation of the hybridization of this carbon and this carbon, we count only the sigma bonds. So on this carbon, count the number of sigma bonds, one over here, another one over here. There are two sigma bonds. So hybridization becomes sp, one sigma bond goes to here, another sigma bond goes to here. So this hybridization is called sp hybridization. So there is mixing of s and p orbitals. So I believe the hybridization part is clear to all of you, although I will explain the hybridization very nicely in a very good manner when I do the chapter atomic structure, the second chapter of physical chemistry after completing this chapter. Okay. Now let us go further ahead in this chapter. Okay. I come to the second slide, slide number 2, functional group. The functional group are atom or group of atoms joined in a specific manner which determines the chemical properties of the organic compound. There are plenty of functional groups. Some examples are given over here which you have heard last year also. The examples of some functional groups are, first one is hydroxyl, alcoholic, aldehyde, CHO, carboxylic, COH group. So these are few examples of functional group which I have just read out. Okay. Now let me show you some examples over here. Look at the first functional group over here. This is hydroxyl, alcoholic, hydroxyl. Okay. This one is amine. This one is amine. One carbon, two carbon. So this compound becomes ethanamine or ethylamine. This one is ethanol. This compound is ethanol. So functional groups, they give specific properties to the organic compound. Okay. Now my dear boys, let us move further in this chapter. The next word which you can see on the screen, it is called homologous series. Homologous series. Now a homologous series which you have come across last year also, it may be defined as a family of organic compounds which have the same functional group, in simple language, which have the same functional group, similar chemical properties, not same, similar chemical properties, and the successive members differ from each other in molecular formula by CH2 unit, one CH2 unit. Okay. Now the members of a homologous series can be represented by the same general formula. Like I was talking about alkanes. Alkane general formula is CnH2n plus 2. All the alkanes will follow this formula. I was also talking about alkenes, CnH2n. All the alkenes will follow this general formula. I was also talking about alkynes. Alkynes have a general formula CnH2n minus 2. So all the alkynes will follow or obey this general formula. So the members of a homologous series can be represented by the same general formula or general molecular formula. Now let us move ahead further to the nomenclature of organic compounds. Okay. Now for the nomenclature of organic compounds, please remember there is a common naming system. Before the IUPAC system of nomenclature, organic compounds were named after the source from which they were obtained. For example, urea was so named because it was obtained from the urine of animals, and by the way, the chemical formula of urea is like this: NH2CONH2. Okay, I think you should get this formula in your mind, in your head just now only. Now formic acid the another organic compound was so named because it was extracted. It was extracted originally from red ants, and those red ants called formica. This formic acid was called formica. Okay, so that was the original common system of nomenclature. But today we don't have the common system of nomenclature. Today we follow the International Union of Pure and Applied Chemistry. There is a body which is responsible for naming organic compounds. If you look at the next chart on the screen over there, the first compound chemical formula is CH4. It is CH4, okay. Its common name is methane. Its IUPAC name is also methane. The second one, CH3, CH2, CH2, CH3. It is called normal butane. The third one, there is branching now. It is called isobutane. The fourth one, there is two branching. It is called neopentane. Then we have N-propyl alcohol, normal propyl alcohol. Then we have formaldehyde. These are all common names. So I want you all to learn this chart, the common name chart. Chloroform, CHCl3, otherwise chloroform is called trichloromethane. Then we have acetic acid, ethanoic acid. Then we have benzene. Then we have anisole, C6H5OCH3 organic compound, aromatic. Then we have aniline. Then we have acetophenone. Then we have ethyl methyl ether. This is ether, functional group. Phenone. Aceto group is a functional group. Aniline, this is the functional group. OCH3 is a functional group. So are you getting it? These are the functional groups. So functional groups give a specific, definite physical and chemical properties to an organic compound. So I expect you will try to go through this chart and try to remember the common names. Okay. Today itself you learn them up. Okay. Now moving ahead to the next slide, my dear boys. In detail, IUPAC. I, there is a gap. U, there is a gap, and pack. I and U, let's pack up and let's get away. Okay, so International Union of Pure and Applied Chemistry. This system, according to IUPAC system, the name of an organic compound contains three parts, which I have explained, tried to explain in my YouTube videos last year in class 10 ICSE syllabus. The three parts in an IUPAC name of an organic compound contains the word root, the suffix, and the prefix. The suffix contains two parts, primary suffix and the secondary suffix, which I will be doing slowly. Now, for special word roots, an organic compound containing one carbon atom, its word root is meth. An organic compound containing two carbon atoms, its word root is eth. 3 carbon atoms, its word root is prop. 4 carbon atoms, its word root is but. So these were the word roots. You can go further also. C5, pent, hex, hept, oct, non, dec. Okay. So C5 I told you. C5 is pent. C6 is hex. C7 is hept. C8 is oct. C9 is non. C10 is dec. Okay. So these are the word roots, special word roots for the number of carbon atoms present in an organic compound. Then, as I have told you, after the word root, we come to suffix. Suffix are two types, primary suffix and secondary suffix. Now, primary suffix, it indicates the type of bonds in the carbon atoms. For example, if there is a carbon-carbon single bond, then the primary suffix is ane, A-N-E, methane, ethane, propane, butane. If the organic compound has carbon-carbon double bond, then the primary suffix becomes ene, ethene, propene, butene, and so on. If the organic compound has a carbon-carbon triple bond, then the primary suffix is ine, Y-N-E, ethine, propine, butine, and so on. Okay, so I have explained you word root, I have explained you the first suffix, that is the primary suffix. Now we will proceed further to the next slide over here, explaining you the secondary suffix. The secondary suffix are supposed to represent the functional group. Which functional group is there? If there is an OH, we write OL. If there is CHO, we write AL, AL. If there is COH, we write carboxylic acid. If there is NH2, we write amine and so on. So this we will get it clear when we do the specific examples in the IUPAC nomenclature. The next thing is prefix. The prefix comes before the word root. Now prefix is a part of IUPAC name which appears before the word root. Prefix are of two types. For example, primary prefix, it comes cyclo, is used to differentiate cyclic compounds from acyclic compounds. Cyclic means compounds which have a cycle, like this, cyclopropane. There are 3 carbon atoms, so it is propane, but it is a cycle, it is a ring over there, so it is cyclopropane. It is non-aromatic. Then let us see next point. Secondary prefix, that was primary, secondary prefix. There are some functional groups which are considered as substituents and denoted by secondary prefixes. Now you can see the examples over here. F. If F is there, we call it fluoro. F-L-U-O-R-O. There is a spelling mistake which I have typed wrongly. F-L-U-O-R-O. Okay. Fluoro. Then there is chloro, bromo. NO is nitroso. Put in your mind just now. NO. Lot of students make mistake over here. NO means not nitrite, not nitrogen monoxide. It is nitroso in the secondary prefix. The next one is NO2, which is nitro. Then there is CS3, methyl group. OCS3 is methoxy. Okay. So these are some examples only about secondary prefix. Okay. Now moving to the next slide, you can see naming of compounds containing functional groups. The longest chain of carbon atoms containing the functional group is numbered in such a manner that the functional group is attached to the carbon possessing lowest possible number in the chain, which I have explained last year also. While naming an organic compound, say if there is an organic compound containing 5 carbon atoms and the second carbon atom has a functional group OH. So, and the rest has CH3, this has CH2, this has CH2, this will have CH, sorry, this will have CH2 and this will have CH3. So, while naming the organic compound, what I am supposed to do is, I cannot name from number from here. I have to number from here in order to keep this carbon atom functional group closer to this terminal atom. So, carbon 1, carbon 2, carbon 3, carbon 4 and carbon 5. So, the word root for this organic compound becomes pent because there are 5 carbon atoms. So, I write pent. And all these carbon atoms, they are linked to each other by single bond. So, I write ANE, N. And then the functional group is OH. So, pent N, it is 2-all. Pent N 2-all. There is no side chain branching. There are no other what you call functional groups. So, the prefix is absent. So, since this is a vowel over here, I will omit this E. So, the IUPAC name of this organic compound becomes pent N 2-all, correct name. Okay, so this is how you write the IUPAC name of organic compounds containing functional group. In place of OH, I can have COH. In place of OH, I can have so many other functional groups as required. Okay. Now, in case of polyfunctional compounds, one of the functional group is selected as principal functional group, and the other one is named as the secondary one. The choice of principal functional group is made on the basis of order of preference. So, I request you to remember the order, the priority order: carboxylic acid, sulfonic acid, this is alkyl group, okay. Over here COCl, CONH2, COCl, okay, this is the order you have to remember, okay. So, this is the order in which the functional groups, they get a preference while naming in the IUPAC system. Regarding the name of these functional groups, I will give you a chart in the next class. So, I think the time is over. So, boys, I have already taken 2 minutes more from your time, but that's no problem because many boys joined late. So, before you all leave the class, let me take the attendance. Just hang on over there only. Just hang on over there. Let me take the attendance first. There are 41 boys only, okay. I request the other boys, please send a message to your friends, okay, if you know them personally, and tell them to join, okay. So, I am recording the attendance now, okay. The attendance is recorded. Now, you may leave the class. Thank you so much. Have a nice day.